I lost 35 pounds in 3 months, and ever since I said that and posted it on this here Beyonce's internet, y'all have had a knife to my throat begging me to give you the tea. Well, girls, today is that day. Now, if you've been following me on my TikTok and my Instagram, we are longtime lovers, and you would know that I've been sharing about my fitness journey very openly for the last 2-ish years. And if you're not following me, babe, how are we supposed to maintain a relationship? How are we supposed to be lovers, be close, be friends? You should just go and follow me right now. You can pause the video and I will wait. I'm a very patient girl. Go ahead and follow me and then come back so I can give you the tea. Now that you've done that, I'm going to hold your hand in a vice grip while I say this. There is no pill, there is no prayer, there is no magic wand that you can wave that's going to speed your way through a body recomp for you to get this, beautiful dream body. Even when you look at the body that I had after I lost the weight, after I went through that 3-month transformation to the body I have now, that's a lot of difference. And that difference was years in the making. That was years of consistency. So if you are looking for a quick fix, this is not the video for you. I'm going to tell you the tea, but this is going to be a journey because that's what it is. It's a journey. It's something that should be implemented into your entire life that you do day in and day out every single day. If you're new here, my name is Zena, and this is my coven. Around here, we just don't talk about the woman that we want to be. We are actively becoming her. So if you're tired of starting over every single Monday, babe, this is your initiation. At the start of my fitness journey, like many of you, I was super eager to get into all things fitness, and I was taking every single tip, trick, hack, everything that I could find online about fitness and putting it all into my toolkit. I was so eager to get my dream body that I really didn't know what to focus on, and so I decided to focus on basically everything. I was trying all the different workouts that I could find online. If there was a challenge, if there was a trend, I was hopping on it, and I was eating foods that were actually healthy, but I just was eating way too much. And it showed. All 35 pounds of it started to show. I was trying various workouts online. I was doing whatever was hot and trendy. If there was a new challenge, if there was a new workout, if there was a new hack to get the best body, I was on it and I was gonna do it. And I also was eating very healthy. I had the protein shakes. I had, the chicken. I had the rice. I had the vegetables. I had all of the things. I had the supplements, the creatine, all of it. I was doing it all, but I was doing it all at once and I was doing it unregulated. There was no sense of portion control and it showed. All 35 pounds of it showed. So hear me clearly. At the start of your fitness journey, you don't need all of the extras. You need to start with the foundation. And there are 3 parts of this foundation. Part 1 is going to be understanding your nutrition, your meal prep, and what it means to have a caloric budget, whether you're going to be in a caloric surplus, in a caloric maintenance, or in a caloric deficit. Part 2 is going to be the exercise that is unscheduled. That means the exercise that you do outside of the gym. And then the 3rd part of your foundation is going to be your scheduled and regimented exercise. So the exercise that you do in the gym, or the exercise that you do with working with a trainer like myself, or, if you go to a class. So when starting out on your nutrition journey, I really don't want you to be thinking about or looking into any supplements. You honestly don't need them at this point. I want you to focus strictly on the food that you can buy at your local grocery store. All the produce that you can get, all the meats that you can get, all of the stuff that you can buy in each and every aisle. I want us to just start there and focus on that. And so to learn my caloric budget, or what I needed to be at maintenance, I used a TDEE calculator, which I will link in the description below. And what this does is it uses your height, your weight, your age, and your daily activity level to give you an idea of what amount of calories you should be eating on a daily basis to maintain the weight that you're at, or what amount of calories you should be eating to be in a bulk or a caloric surplus, or a cut and a caloric deficit. We want the caloric deficit because we're going through a little bit of a weight loss body recomp situation, right? So I was in a caloric deficit of 500 calories. I would not recommend going above that, especially if you're doing it on your own and you don't have a dietitian, you don't have a fitness coach. It's just not healthy. I was in a caloric deficit of 500 calories and I took my caloric budget seriously. I was not playing. Whatever number that is, we were not going above that number, period. Okay? Very strict over here. Now, me personally, because my budget was strict and I was strict, I decided that I wanted to prioritize foods that I could eat a lot of, or I could have a larger portion of, but they weren't so calorically dense. So it wouldn't take such a big amount of my budget for me to eat these foods. So while I was in my cut, the pastas had to go, to be honest. I love pasta. I'm an Italian girl at heart. I had to divorce the pastas. I got married to chicken, mashed potatoes, and spinach. I had the same thing every day for over a year, to be honest with you. And it was to the point that low-key my parents were like, are you good? But the truth of the matter is, when you are dealing with nutrition and when you are dealing with your caloric budget, especially when you're in a cut, trying to make something new every single day just doesn't work. We are not Chef Boyardee. We're not Chef Gordon Ramsay. We're not on Top Chef. Like, we're not on Chopped. It's not happening, okay? And anytime that you try to add extra steps into your, your nutrition journey or your fitness journey, and you're already new, you're already trying to adapt this to your lifestyle, you're only making things harder for yourself. So, if you want to have some variety, think about having variety every other week, because that's something that you can actually manage. You should be meal prepping. You should be eating the same thing or something similar every single day. It's gonna make it easier. You'll get to your goals faster. We won't have much struggle. And then you can learn how to mix and match later once you actually have a good grasp on the nutrition that is behind all the different foods that you're eating and how you can apply those things in different meals. But please remember, this is your budget, and you don't have to completely, obliterate and starve yourself of the things that you enjoy. For instance, I have a sweet tooth. I'm not gonna go a day without feeding that sweet tooth. So I have I have 2 packs actually of Welch's fruit snacks with every single meal. And that's in my budget. It works for me. I have them every single day. I've been having them for years now, and you will have to pry them out of my cold dead hands because I like them. But I have the body that I want because I fit it into my budget. Pay attention to your budget. What matters most in your nutrition, if you don't take away anything else that I've said so far, it's what you eat, and it is how much of what you're eating. You can eat, as healthy as you want, but if you're eating 4 and 5 portion sizes of that healthy thing, then it's becoming unhealthy because it's not working towards your goals. 10 steps a day is not negotiable. I know you guys are rolling your eyes. I know you feel like this is just another trend or another fad, but it's actually something that is backed by science, and the impact that it had, honestly, top 2 things that influenced me losing the weight: nutrition and walking 10,000 steps a day. I promise you, on everything I love, those 2 things will get you most, if not all of the way there in terms of your weight loss. It'll get you there, honey. And here's why it matters. Your body has to choose what it's going to use for fuel. Is it going to use carbs? Is it going to use fat? On the rare occasion, is it going to, eat up some of your protein, eat up some of your muscle? Your body's choosing always what it is that you're going to be using for fuel. And so when you are doing like a very, intense workout, your body's like, ooh, I need carbs. Carbs are my friend. We're eating carbs to give us fuel to get through this thing. But when you're doing exercise that is outside of the gym, that is low impact, like walking, your body's like, oh, I think we can eat some fats. I think we can eat some of our stored fat, and that'll give us enough fuel. Like, we don't have to really go as hard and go and eat the carbs that were just put into our body. We can go over to our fat reserves and just, have a little charcuterie board of fats. That's what's literally happening in your body. So when you are, getting your 10,000 steps, your body is now burning through some of the fat that you have stored on your body. And 10,000 steps is also important because I want you to think about how much time and how many calories you are able to burn in a week. If you're only going to the gym, that means that you are working out maybe 3 times a week, maybe somewhere between an hour to 2 hours. The amount of calories that you're gonna burn depends on how intense that workout is, and that's only happening 3 times a week. But if you're walking 5 to 6 miles a day, if you're hitting 10,000 steps every single day, babe, you're burning calories all day, every day for 7 days of the week. The amount of calories that you burn walking 10,000 steps and doing your resistance training is so much greater than if you are sedentary, like we all are, because we work desk jobs, and then you go to the gym for an hour, 2 hours, 3 times a week. It's so, the difference is massive. And it's that difference that makes the impact on your actual fitness journey. Now, I hear you guys, how the hell are we gonna get 10,000 steps a day? To be honest with you, you're going to have to get up and walk. You need to get up from that desk. You have to get up. That's really the long and short of it. If you work a desk job, if you work in corporate like I do, like most of us do, you need to get that ass up. You need to take your breaks. You need to go ahead and walk around the block, go around, walk around the office, do what you need to do. If that means you have to get up early and go hit the treadmill at your local gym for an hour, or when you get off of work, you go hit the treadmill before you do your workout. You need to get those steps in. I think the best way to do it is by walking throughout the day, because then you're not sitting there on a treadmill for an hour in the morning or an hour at night. But if that's the only time that you have in your work schedule, then you need to get it done, because the 10,000 steps and the nutrition, the caloric deficit, those two things were the things that made me drop all that weight. Because before that, I was working out. I was working out 3 times a week. I was working out 4 times a week, but my eating was completely uncontrolled, and I wasn't working out, or I wasn't walking outside of my time at the gym. I was completely sedentary. I was at the time an executive assistant. I was at work at my desk all day. No steps. Steps were on 0. But once I started getting my steps in, once I started hitting 10,000, 11,000, 12,000 steps a day, oh baby, the weight fell off. The weight fell off immediately. Now, while nutrition and while non-scheduled exercise were the 2 main components of my fitness journey, another important concept that we cannot, let go of is going to be your structured exercise. You should have a structured resistance plan that is in line with your goals. So if your dream body is, having a really, well-built lower body and having a really nice back, or having really nice arms, you want to have the nice cap shoulders, you need to have a program that is designed to give you the results that you want. If you want to build strength, if you want to build power, if you want to be more flexible, all of those things should be reflected in your wellness and your exercise program. Personally, I recommend that you guys work with a trainer. If you're looking for a trainer, I also offer one-on-one coaching. I'll include the link in the bio for you guys to sit down and talk with me and learn a little bit more about what one-on-one coaching with me looks like. But if you don't have a trainer, I recommend that you do your research. Do not just fall into, whatever it is that you see online. You should be looking for trainers like me that are online, that have a background in, like certified personal training. They're certified. They have, different videos on their page that give you the educational content that you need, so that you understand why it is that you're doing the workout that you're doing. You shouldn't just be buying a workout. Even if you buy one from me, which you should, I'll link it in the bio, you should still have an understanding of what that workout's intended to do, why you're doing the exercises that you're doing in that workout, and how those exercises are going to translate into the goals that you want or that you have. So all in all, you guys, that's really all that there is to me losing 35 pounds in 3 months. It's not some big, secret that I need to put a hood on and we have to sit in the dark and talk about. It's very, very simple, but it is not easy. You have to be consistent. You have to say, this is my life and I'm taking control of my life. This is important to me. And so I'm going to commit and put in the time and the effort required for me to go ahead and get this done. You have to be committed for this to work. Now, again, if you guys do need any help, feel free, ask questions in the comment section below. I'll also put a questionnaire on my Instagram and my TikTok. So if you guys have more questions from this video, I'll do a follow-up answering those questions specifically. But yes, put those questions in the comment section below. And, if you want to grab one of my programs, I will also be linking that down in the description box below, along with a link to my one-on-one coaching. If you guys want to learn more about what one-on-one coaching looks like with me specifically, again, even if you aren't going to be working with me, please make sure that when you are using a different trainer or you have a different coach, this is somebody that is educated, that they have their certification, that they have gone to school for this in some way, shape, or form, that they're not just somebody that started working out and then decided they could tell other people how to work out. Because there's so much that you could learn. I was one of those people that started working out and then I started sharing my journey. But then when I realized that I actually was passionate for it and I wanted to start helping people, guess what I did? I went to school, and that's what people should do. DIVA Defined is for women that are raising their standards, especially within themselves. So if you're ready to choose yourself at all costs, comment dream body down below so I know that you made it to the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I cannot wait to see you in the next one. And remember, you're gonna need to be her before you see her. That is how you become inevitable. Welcome back to my coven, guys.